Hey gang, DVD collector back here on the Movie Reviewers 100, and it is Gary Oldman week, which is a very great theme for me. I love Gary Oldman, one of my favorite actors of all time, in so many roles. He never ever looks or acts the same. He's done so many amazing spots, as you know, from Commissioner Gordon to his job in Harry Potter, just to name a few. The Professional, as we've already talked about this week. And one of my top favorite Gary Oldman performances is what I'm going to talk about today. Now, this movie confuses me beyond belief, because once again I get to talk about horror, and I love to bring horror to the Movie Reviewers 100 when I can. But the reason this movie confuses me is, one, I love horror movies. Two, I love Francis Ford Coppola. Three, I love anything to do with Dracula or vampires. But I cannot stand Winona Ryder or Keanu Reeves. But I love them in this movie, and I don't know why they stand out to me in this performance. Now, this version, of course, we're talking about Bram Stoker's Dracula. Yes, Anthony Hopkins, Winona Ryder, Gary Oldman, of course, Keanu Reeves, Carrie Ewells. Just a smorgasbord of talent, except for Keanu Reeves. I still don't think he's talented, no matter what movie he's in. I don't think he's talented. But anyway, this movie, of course, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, who's one of my favorites. It's kind of a different take on Dracula. It's the story of Dracula, basically, but with a more violent and erotic twist to it. It's not your watered down Universal monsters, and I don't say that in any way as disrespect. That was the time period, that was the book, that's what I like. You know, this movie was, at first, when I first heard of this movie, of course, it came out in 1992, I was worried about it, because even back then I was a fan of horror movies, and when I first saw it, it was so visual, so erotic, so, like I said, so violent. I was turned off by the movie, and it wasn't until I watched it a couple times that I actually started enjoying it, enjoying the direction that Coppola took us in this movie, and especially Gary Oldman's performance in this movie as Vlad. Man, this movie has the creepiest elements. When the whole scene where Keanu Reeves goes to sell him the real estate and get his signatures just blows me away. The performance that Oldman plays in all these characters. But I think of all of it, the character, it's all the same character, but when he comes back to England to meet Winona Ryder and he mistakes her for his true love, reincarnated, that is such a great performance by him. That's the thing I love about Oldman, is that, like I said in the beginning of this video, you never know what he's going to look like. Because I had a hard time with this, because there are so many great movies. I was going to do Harry Potter at first, but it was just too much to talk about and veer away from Gary Oldman, because he's not a gigantic part of that universe. He's an important part, but not gigantic. So I wanted to stick to him. So my second pick was Fifth Element, because I love the performance that he gives there. But overall, I think The Professional and Dracula are my absolute two favorites. And I don't know, I would really have to decide what mood I'm in the day that I watch either movie to tell you what's my favorite performance. Now, if I have to go for my favorite movie, I'm going to go for Dracula, because it's of the horror elements, and that's just something that's always intrigued me. But as far as his performance go, man, The Professional is top notch, and Al did a great job of touching on that film. But if you haven't seen Bram Stoker's Dracula, I highly recommend this, especially to you, Ian. I know you're a huge Hammer film fan. with Christopher Lee's Dracula. I think if you haven't seen this movie, you will really respect the performance that's given to Dracula, of Dracula in this movie. It's top notch. It's not Christopher Lee. I will always agree with you on Hammer films being some of the best portrayals of the beloved monsters out there, but definitely check out Dracula. And check out everybody else's videos this week too. So if you're not a subscriber yet, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Like it, thumbs down it, comment, whatever you want to do. It's the video is made for you, so enjoy. And excuse the glasses, but as I get older, I can't see. So I figured if I got to wear glasses, I'm going to go full on nerd. And it worked for Superman, so. Blah.